Father Michael Reeves stood before the old Victorian house, his breath misting in the cold night air. The weight of his exorcism kit seemed to grow heavier with each step towards the front door. 20 years as an exorcist, and still, nights like these made his palms sweat. The door creaked open before he could knock. Sandra Miller, her face gaunt with exhaustion and fear, ushered him in. "Thank you for coming, Father. It's gotten worse." Michael nodded grimly. He'd been here 3 times in the past month, each visit more harrowing than the last. The entity possessing Sandra's 16-year-old daughter, Emily, was unlike anything he'd encountered before. As they climbed the stairs, a blood-curdling scream echoed through the house. Sandra flinched, her eyes brimming with tears. "Please, Father, save my little girl." The door to Emily's room was reinforced with steel brackets, a necessary precaution after last week's incident when she'd nearly escaped. Michael steeled himself, and her head snapped towards Michael, eyes rolling back to show only whites. "Back again, priest." The voice that came from Emily's mouth was a guttural growl, nothing like the teenager's normal tone. "Haven't you learned? She's ours now." Michael approached, holding his crucifix before him. "In the name of Jesus Christ, I command you to." He was cut off as an invisible force slammed him against the wall, knocking the wind from his lungs. The entity laughed, a sound like breaking glass. "Your God has no power here," it sneered. "We are legion. We are eternal." Michael struggled to his feet, tasting blood. This was bad. In all his years, he'd never felt such raw power from a possessed individual. He began the rite of exorcism, his voice growing stronger with each word. "Exorcisamus te, omnis immundus spiritus, omnis satanica potestas." Emily's body began to convulse, the bed shaking violently. Objects around the room started to levitate. Michael pressed on, even as shards of glass from the shattered window sliced his cheek. Suddenly, Emily spoke, but this time it was her voice, small and frightened. "Father, please. It hurts. Make it stop." Michael's heart clenched. Was this a trick, or had he finally reached her? The entity roared in rage, Emily's body arching off the bed despite the restraints. The walls began to crack, plaster raining down. In that moment, Michael made a decision. The traditional rites weren't working. He'd have to try something drastic, something forbidden. He pulled an ancient amulet from his pocket, a relic he'd sworn never to use. The price was high, but Emily's soul was worth the cost. "I offer myself as a vessel," he intoned, pressing the amulet to his chest. "Release the girl and enter me." "No," Sandra screamed, but it was too late. The room exploded with light. Michael felt a searing pain as the entity tore from Emily and slammed into him. His vision went black. Sandra rushed to embrace her daughter. Michael stood shakily. He felt different, powerful. The entity roiled within him, but he held it at bay. For now. "It's done," he said, his voice resonating strangely. "Emily is free." Sandra looked at him, her relief turning to horror as she saw his eyes, now solid black. "Father Michael, what have you done?" He smiled, and for a moment his face seemed to shift, revealing something inhuman underneath. "What was necessary?" He turned to leave, his movements unnaturally fluid. As he walked out into the night, Michael felt the entity testing its boundaries, seeking weaknesses. He had saved Emily, yes, but at what cost? And how long could he contain the evil now residing within him? In the distance, church bells tolled midnight. The real battle, Michael realized, was just beginning.